And we are live. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hope you're good on this fine evening and that you're ready to talk about Unlocked 8.5
Whoosh.
in the Keeper of the Lost Cities
Whoosh.
series. Every time I'm going to mention, you'll be like, shh.
Whoosh.
I love it. I love it. Um, Press, I guess you gave it 5 stars.
Yes. Well, for like overall things, thoughts, of course I give it 5 stars. There is no surprise there. I really loved it was a reread for me, obviously,
Mm.
but I do really love and like the encyclopedia. That is
Mm.
like 3 parts of the book. And I think it gives like some super nice insight to the world, and it's just a really fun, nice addition because we've been with them for so long now and throughout so many books that the world is so big that you tend to forget a lot of like small details.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really nice to see all that coming back, and I really liked the novella as well because it was short and we didn't get like a lot of answers, kind of a little, but also not. But what I liked about it was that it was from Keith's point of view as well as Sophie's. And I thought it was really fun to see Keith's point of view.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Hello. Hello. Let
Stop.
us know the ratings you gave that book and what you thought of it. Um I gave it 4.5. So it's almost
Ooh.
a 5 stars just because like when I finished the whole first part, I was like, "Oh no, I need to read a story. I wanted more." Because I
Yeah.
really loved the format of everything we learned before. And I feel like it was a very smart way to give us a break from the long series, especially when you were like reading it at once or whatever. And so I feel like I needed more. I wanted more. I don't know what she would have put, what else she could have been written or whatever. But I also liked the novella, as you said, because of Keith's point of view. Um, so it was interesting as
Yeah.
well.
And actually, when she started writing this book,
She
she
wanted it to be the next book,
yeah,
right?
she wanted to be like the full ninth book. So she started writing, and then she came to the realization that she could she was not like fully like ready to write the ninth book, so she made it like the 8.5 thing with the
Mm,
novella. And like I really like that because it gives her like more time to like develop the series. We get a little bit of a break from these heavy books, and
yeah,
it's still like a big book, but it's a different big book.
yeah,
um
absolutely.
and I really love the encyclopedia at the beginning style. It's just yeah, and I also really love the artwork in it as well.
Mm,
um like all the different like things and stuff. I think it's just very,
it's
very
beautiful.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just very, here all the counselors together. I just think it just adds a little bit extra to the series.
I agree. I agree. I love all that inside the world. It was almost like a little refresher of things you might have forgotten. Yes, absolutely. Hello. Hi. I think it's just 3 stars for me. Was very bored by the beginning. I just finished a second ago. I guess like if you have a very good memory, quite the opposite of me, it might be just like a bit repetitive.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
but I just
Larissa,
love that concept.
you say you were bored by the beginning. Do you mean the novella or do you mean
Oh yeah,
the beginning?
yeah. Good question.
The encyclopedia.
I just assumed like the beginning of the book, but that's a good question. I have too good of a memory, so 4 stars for me since I it made the beginning less interesting. I guess you're talking about the book, the beginning of the book here, and not the beginning of the novella, because the novella stopped right at the end of the previous book. Okay, the beginning.
Beginning.
I gave it 4.5. Love the new point of view and getting to see into its head. Absolutely. Yes, the artwork was really my favorite. Yeah, it was one of my favorite as well. I loved it. I loved it very much. But also, like, I guess we can go into spoilers right
Yeah.
away. Like, I like spoilers. Do I need to put a banner?
Okay. Yeah. You put a banner up. I will get my
Okay, I'm
note.
gonna put a banner.
Make note. Make note.
Spoilers. Okay. Um, just to make sure. Okay, so I love that when we were reading like not the summary but like the files regarding every character or like anything, you had like the point of view from the person, being like, yeah, no, that didn't happen that quite that way or whatever, they were like reacting
Yeah.
to what was written. And I felt it added some interactivity. I mean, even though it's not interactivity or whatever, but I felt like it added something um to the little chapters, and that's why I was not bored by it, and that I was like quite like having fun reading it. So
Yeah. What I also really liked is that you can clearly see like some of the files that Dex has broken into and made his like own little notes to it. I thought that was like hilarious as well because we've seen throughout the series that Dex is very talented and he can like break into anything if he wants to. So I thought that was very funny as well.
yes, absolutely. The repetitiveness of the encyclopedia is why it didn't get the 5 star for me. Yes, okay, I get that. I get that. I know I love this format because as a kid I had a lot of things that were similar to that, like regarding the animal world or like science or like whatever. So I really love that format, and I feel like for me it was a nice reminder of everything. I just love it.
Yeah.
I just loved it. But yeah, but even like the novella, I feel like for it was like at least my edition because I read like the e-book, it was like 200 pages. I felt like it was really decent. Like you still got like a decent story. I was expecting something very um on the surface for some reason. I wasn't expecting to get some revelation from that novella.
Yeah. And you know what? It's because sometimes you have like these tiny novellas that you don't necessarily have to read, you
Mm,
know? But this one, you need to read this one because if
mm,
you go from Legacy to Stellaloon, you will miss information. What happens in
yeah,
this one? You need to read this one.
that's true. But most people will will skip a point 0.5 book.
Yeah.
So I hope like you at the beginning of this book we had again at the beginning of the novella we had a reminder, if I remember well. Please, if you read this now that it has spoilers, you should read the previous book first, blah blah blah. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
hope that's going to be in the next one as well, just for people who usually skip the point 0.5 book. They'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, you need to have read the 8.5 because it has important information that you will just not understand where it's coming from
Yeah.
in this book. So you might be like, what the heck is happening? So I hope
Yeah.
they're going to put like that warning
Yeah.
um, at the beginning of the book. I like to read about the world and the lesser known characters, but couldn't care less about the rest of the encyclopedia. Fair. Absolutely fair. I feel like I would enjoy the encyclopedia more if we hadn't just read all of the other ones within the year. I mean,
That also fair.
that's like, I agree with that, but also the way, like, how can I explain that? The book wasn't, I mean, the series wasn't meant to be read, like in a year or whatever. She never, like, because there was a new book every single year. So, but yeah, I don't make any sense. But
Yeah.
I get your
No,
point.
I get what you
It's
mean.
fun.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of children and people will have grown up with the series. Like they
Yeah.
will like read it throughout the years, and it will be like have been like a journey of the last 7-8 years that the books have come out
Mm.
for sure.
No, I love that. I love that. But yeah, so I don't know if there is anything else we can say about the encyclopedia, or we can go into like the short novella and what everyone thought of the novella, the little bit of revelations we got.
I'm looking really
Yeah.
quickly at the. Oh, I really also liked the. That's just me because I'm obsessed with. I liked the food and drink section
Oh, I
of,
liked it too. I liked it too. Yeah.
and like because they have like such unique food in the keeper world, and
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice to see, like who what they eat and stuff like that. And I'm just obsessed with food all the time.
I mean, I feel like it's such a huge part of life, food in general, that I feel like not you don't read enough about food when you think about it in books. You know what I mean? So it makes them just more human in a way, even though they're not human, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
like it. And it makes the world like complete
yeah.
because you talk like about everything. Like, I don't know. I like it too. I mean, I liked every aspect of the encyclopedia, to be fair.
I also really like this. I want to show this. This was the emotional support
Um,
page with all the stuffed animals. So Amy's Bun Bun, Elvis Stinky, the Stegosaurus, Keith's Mrs. Stinkbottom, Fitz Mr. Snuggles, Sophie's Ella, and Biana's Lady Sassy Fur. And I just think it's so cute because we all need our stuffed animals. It's important. I have Sam here. Sam, my support spooky.
hmm. I mean, I've always had those plushies, so. But since when do you call him Sam? Or her? Or it?
It's a
Or that?
he.
Okay, it's a he.
It's a he. He is called Sam, and he is called Sam the support spooky.
The support. I did not know you named him.
I
Like,
named him from the beginning.
really?
Yes.
I feel like a bad friend now. I did not know it.
It's okay.
Yeah, that too. I want to try some of the recipes from it.
Yes, me too. For sure.
In honor of the last book that we will be reading. And then the next one that's coming out next year. I read somewhere that she was hoping that book 10 will be the last.
Yeah.
Does that mean that it might not be?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've always thought that the 10th book would be the last. But, I don't know what she's planning. So we'll just have to see. But I'm definitely bringing Keeper along back next year for like a one-time thing when the 10th book comes out. I'm not doing it all over again.
Please no. Please no.
That
And you
is
have
that
another
I
one.
do every single year. I'm not gonna do that. But I will bring it back like a one-time thing for the new book next year for sure. So
I think it comes without saying. Like
yeah.
everyone would expect that, I guess. But yeah. What about the novella?
Yes, the novella. Um
So we started with, I'm looking at my notes, with
yeah, me
Early's Cash. or Kashi.
Yeah, we started with the cash, and we were
Yeah.
like expecting to have some like revelations on this and stuff like that, and nothing really happened. I thought that was a little bit of a letdown, honestly, because I thought like, oh, now we're getting some answers, and the only answers that we really got was that Orally and Kendrick were in love with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of already knew that, and the fact that Kendrick knew that she was Sophie's biological mother.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing. And there is this thing about Stella Loon that keeps being mentioned, and the next book is called Stella Loon. So I'm guessing we'll get more answers in the next book.
Yes.
Um, but other than that, we didn't really find anything out. And the relationship between Orally and Sophie is a little bit tense, isn't it?
It is tense, but I just liked when Aurelie said it was the only way to have a daughter, and you could
Yeah,
just feel like something when she said that. And I feel like I felt what something that Sophie felt. Like, I don't know what it is exactly, but she was like, I imagine her being like, oh,
yeah,
okay. So you really wanted me in a way.
yeah.
Um,
It was just a difficult position she was in, but she was never like unwanted by Orly, you know?
yeah, but the thing is that she was never unwanted, but at the same time, Aurelie did want a kid a bit. I mean, it's not selfish to want a kid before anyone comes to me. But in this situation, she decided to have a kid that that ended up being unmatchable, and so many bad things happened to her. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
i- it's okay to question her real intentions, especially if like you end up having a daughter that you will not take care of because you will not know where they are.
yeah,
It- so it's just a weird position for both sides, I feel like, and I will never understand how any of them are feeling, to be honest. That breaks my heart. That
yeah.
breaks my heart.
I have that a little bit later on in my notes. Um, but yeah, that broke my heart as well because he's gonna suffer a lot if
I
that is
mean,
really true. And I think it is true. Like, I think Keith is probably right in that regards. Um, but let's go like a little bit like back more in
mm-hmm.
the story because like the main event, I think what happens in
Yeah,
this book is that Keith wakes up.
yeah. And he not only wakes up, he wakes up with like that weird. I mean, there is something I'm not sure I understood because he has two named powers, right? Like empath and polyglot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I feel like it's more than that in
Yeah,
the
he
way.
has this like strange new power when he wakes up that
Yeah,
he can like command
feel.
things.
Yeah, but we did
So
not get a name for that, right?
no, we didn't, and
That's
it's
okay.
an unknown ability
That's
because
so
it's
weird.
I thought, oh, he's now a mesmer like Grady is, right?
Oh,
It's not the same because Grady can like he mesmerized people to do other
what?
things. But
Okay.
what Keith does is not really the same. He like commands things, you know, he's just like faint or laugh and you start to do that.
Yeah, he was like numb and then
Yeah, no.
feel. And
Yeah,
yeah, I know. But that's super weird and scary, you
it
know?
is.
But even though like other things that you might be like, oh, but that's just fun, that's not like dangerous or whatever. When he answered Ro, in the ogrish language or whatever without realizing it and everything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's so disturbing for you not to be aware that you're doing something
Yeah.
or mimicking people or whatever. But that power, like ordering people to do things, that's very scary because you might lose your shit and just be like, die, suffocate. Oh, you know, like you can lose your shit and just do like,
Yeah. And that, I think that what Keith was afraid of, to lose his cool. And that's why he also, like, he had this period that he didn't want to say anything.
mm,
He didn't even want to speak
yeah, I get that.
because he was like so afraid to say anything wrong, because he couldn't, like, in the beginning he could not really control it. So, he might say some bad shit and then something ends up happening or something.
Mm, yeah. I'm like just I feel for Keith. I'm sorry, but
I do too. Like, I don't know. I've been a Keith fan from the very beginning. We all know
mm,
this. We all know that I like Keith and I don't like Fitz, and I still don't like Fitz. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think we got that. But yeah, and like even him, he was scared of everything. So as you said, he stopped talking and everything. But he also asked Dex to make him a thing, like to block his abilities, but it wasn't like successful.
no,
So
but Dex really didn't want it to make one because it was like the same thing that he put on Sophie, wasn't it? Like
I
the
know
And
the
oh my god, I remember that when they put the collar on Sophie like she was a fucking dog. And that was horrible. It was horrifying.
yeah, it was disgusting. So
Absolutely atrocious.
I'm interested to see if Sophie can merge any of her powers. We shall see. I think all polyglots can tell when they speak in different languages. That's what it was like for Sophie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like something entirely different, but like kind of maybe the same. When in the Chamber of Secrets from Harry Potter, Harry also doesn't realize in the beginning that he's speaking Parcel Tongue.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
maybe,
true.
like, with that kind of power, you don't like fully understand that you're doing something else. Like, in your head it's still like English or something.
Yeah, true. True. But to be fair, it happened to me when I'm like super tired. Someone will ask me something and I would answer in the other language and not realizing I'm not answering in their language. But that's just like when I'm so tired, you know?
Yes, I think I have texted you one time in Dutch.
Oh yeah, you have like the audio.
Yeah. Oh,
And I
the
was like,
audio. Yes.
yeah.
And then I don't know, I was like tired or something, and I did a voice note to Sasha, and it was in Dutch. And I've done this multiple times to Steph and Jade as well. That I'm just tired, or I don't know, something goes weird in my brain, and I just ended up texting or voice noting in Dutch and be like, that's not good. Let me translate.
Yeah. But yeah, that's true that even for Sophie, she did not realize it. So,
Yeah.
but it must be still like, even though none of them can realize it, it's still disturbing and scary to just be able to do something you are not realizing you're doing. You don't
Yeah.
realize you do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. It
it's
would be
wild.
cool though. I think it's a very cool power. I would love to be able to speak all the languages in the world, but more than that, I would love to be able to speak with animals.
Exactly.
Yes. That would
100%.
that like, can you imagine the conversations I would have with Lily?
I think you will want a fucking break. I really do
Oh
want.
yeah. Well, I keep screaming in my head. Like Silverny does with Sophie.
I imagine it that way.
Friend, friend.
I don't know what Mooney would say or even Nova, but I think I
I
would need
see.
breaks.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's Nova.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you can see her. Nova! Nova! Hello! Cute.
But yeah, I don't know where we were. Yeah, we were talking about like polyglots. Um, I'm looking at my notes here. What was the next?
Going back to my note.
The Kindle
Oh
share.
yeah, like at some point they question Glimmer, right?
Yes.
Question her, and they try to like level with her and be reasonable with her and not treat her as like the enemy and stuff like that, which I think is good.
Mm.
And what I found like a big thing in this book was when they went to the hideout on Glimmer's leads, they went to this hideout and Sophie fucking destroyed it.
Oh, the storehouse. Yeah, that's what you mean.
Yeah, because they got like the cash back, and Glimmer says to Sophie at one point, like,
Mm.
oh, what are you doing? Like, you need to take as much with you as possible. You're thinking wrong. That's why you're always losing, blah, blah, blah. And at some point, I feel like something shifts in Sophie in that moment, and
Yeah.
like a switch goes off in her head, and she sets fire to the entire place. And then, on top of that, she leaves a symbol that is not the team symbol, but it's her symbol. So it was very much like a Sophie action instead of like a group effort.
It's like she took the lead on something, made a decision in her name, like as a leader, but also she left the mark for people to know that she did it and no one else should pay for what she did. You know,
Yes,
that's
yes.
how I understood it.
But I also think that, I don't know, it was a little bit of not thinking about the consequences and just
Oh, yeah.
going with her gut and feeling like doing what was for her right in the moment.
But that's why I feel like she left a mark that will connect her to the thing, but no one else. Because, like, as you said, she did it for herself because, like, something happened, she lost it or whatever. But it's her decision. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah, she doesn't want to like have retribution for like her friends. Like
yeah,
she wants to be like, I did this by
yeah,
myself. So if you want to come for me and none of my friends.
exactly. That's how I feel it happened. So even though it was like maybe a little bit like out of the blue or maybe not the best decision or whatever, she still kind of tried to protect others, even though they could use others as leverage, like when you
Yeah.
think about it, like it doesn't mean that any of them is safe. uh but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you can see how they are growing up.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And I thought it was like a little bit unfair that the adults, when they came back, the adults were like, "Oh, now this is war because you did this, and you did this unprovoked." I was
Yeah,
like, "Well, that is a little bit harsh," because I thought, for one, it was a badass move. That for one,
yeah,
I thought was like, "Yes, you go, girl. You set fire to all that shit." And second of all, like, I don't know. I thought that was a little bit weird because for me it was already war, and how do you mean unprovoked? Like so many shit has already happened.
exactly. Exactly, it did not make sense because the war started like so many years ago,
Yeah.
before she was born. So now it was like, but she said something like, it's not the beginning of a war, I was just winning a battle or something like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was good. I
thought it
mean,
was a badass move. I thought it was great, and you could also see that Glimmer was like, "Yes, now we're fucking talking. Now,
yeah,
you know, you got on the same level as the Neverseen did." And I thought it was good that Mr. Vocal said to her that she made the right call by doing it,
yes,
because she
yes.
did question herself afterwards if it was a good decision that she made. But I don't know. I think it detests like from good leadership that she made the decision.
Mm,
Whether it was a good decision or not, she made the decision,
yeah.
and that's good leadership, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially with all the adults just doing shit. You know what I mean? Like they're not doing anything, or they're doing things that don't make any sense, or they're putting a
Yeah.
collar around her neck. Like they're
What
just
the
like
fuck? Like, yes, yes, I agree. 100%.
so. I did like that. It was like a nice move. I mean, I think I would have done exactly the same, honestly. Like just
Yes.
destroy the place, destroy it.
Destroy it, everything, for sure. Um, so I
Yeah.
thought that was I don't know, that was the first time that I was like, "Ooh, yes, like a badass move."
Yeah.
I'm
And
like
yeah, that's
a
why I'm
little bit
looking
like
forward. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, a little bit like, taking revenge. And I
Hmm.
like that. I like that.
I like that too, but it felt aussi wow, now I'm mixing French. It felt very like girl power as well, which I'm very excited about because like in the next book you have three girls on the cover that are doing something. And
Yes.
all the covers do have a meaning. So I feel like I
They
really
do.
do love that cover, and I'm looking forward to more like girl power and them doing things or whatever. I don't know what's happening. I have not read the synopsis of that book, but I expect something epic to happen in the next one with the girls.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at the cover, and it's definitely Sophie, but who would the other two be? Is the dark one Lynn?
uh
I'm not
wait.
quite sure. Wait,
Is
maybe
that
we
like
can.
Marella and
Oh, that could also be the case. I'm
and
look. I'm gonna look at the fan art to see if I recognize them.
I think the bottom Maruka Maruza Maruka Maruka
Oh,
Maruka
that could be it. Yes, I think you're
Maruka.
right.
I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But
I
I
think
think it's
you're
like
right.
the two M's, no?
Yeah,
Maru.
Marcella and Maruka.
Yep.
I think you might be correct in that one.
Uh, I think Kiss may be going to be mad about her burning the archetype. It might have explained what happened to him. Yeah. Yeah. Willie's cousin, who's
Yes,
she,
who he wanted to protect. Like he didn't want her to, because she can do the shield thing, right?
yes, yes. And it looks like she's doing it on the cover.
It does. I am looking at these files to see if I can find her. Hang on.
Yeah, but I think that's her. I don't know. And it looks like there is like Sophie is holding a crystal, whatever the crystal is, like a leaping crystal or something. There is something going on the cover. And I love the colors like blue, red, and everything.
I
Like,
think the cover is amazing.
yeah, it's, I think, my favorite. And it has like,
And the other one, I think, is indeed Morella.
yeah, I think I mean, that
It's exciting. I don't know.
it
It's
is. It
just
really
exciting.
is.
I love the cover. It's so good. Oh my gosh, it looks so nice.
And it's like they're coming out from somewhere, you know? It's like they went through a portal
Of some sort.
of some sort. I mean, there is something going on, and I'm really intrigued. Have
Me too.
you read it?
No, I still not read it. I
Okay.
have it. They sent
Yeah.
me the manuscript, and but I didn't have the time to read it, and I don't want to like rush it in between.
Hmm.
So it will probably first be one of my first reads of November, but I just want to take my time with it because
Oh
it's
yeah, no,
special
of
to
course.
me. So
Yes.
probably gonna read it twice. A one time physical, the first time because I already have it,
Yeah.
um, and then the second time with the audiobook. I think right before the live show because the audiobook comes out the 16th when the book comes out.
Of
I think.
November. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 16th of December, which is a Friday, is going to be the live show for the last book.
Yes.
For the 16th of December for
Yes.
everyone here.
That's when we have the live show. Yes.
Yeah, we have the live show a bit later because the book is only coming out mid-month.
Yes.
So, but before Christmas, don't worry.
Yes.
No, I get that. I get that. You will read it twice, especially
Yeah.
because it's not like a reread. You know, like it's your first time discovering the story, so
Yeah.
you want to take your time with it.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, I think we can talk about like right.
I want to mention like an maybe like another ability of Keith. So he has like the empath, the polyglot, and the like commanding things.
Yeah,
Then he's also like able to sense abilities.
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it-
triplets.
yeah, it's like he has two official powers and two unnamed powers
Yes.
that I mean, I don't remember all the names of the powers. I know like one of them is I want to say a freezer, but it's a froster.
Yeah.
And then the other one is
Oh, I can't remember.
wait, I have it on my notes. A phaser.
Oh, a
And I'm
phaser.
just like
Yes.
at the same time I don't see sometimes the difference between some abilities like phaser is supposed to go through
Yeah,
things,
go through things. Like you can go through walls and doors and stuff.
but sometimes I have a hard time being like, oh, phaser is that, then light leaping is that, then you know, I feel
Yeah.
like some of the abilities are like
And
similar but
sometimes,
not.
yeah, I confuse phaser with sometimes being a flasher, what Biana is, like
Yeah,
being invisible.
yeah, yeah.
But it's not the same because
No,
Biana can't go through like solid
no.
things. She needs to like go through. She can do it invisible, but she still needs to do it like with doors and
Mhm.
stuff. But I found it really interesting that he could sense it with like the triplets, and then he sensed like this sense of nothingness in Rex, and it was the same thing that he noticed in Dex's father, and he is talentless. So Rex, there's a high possibility that Rex is talentless, and it breaks my heart because he already now gets teased by his siblings for not manifesting with them.
Mhm. I
And
know.
he's gonna just have such a hard time, and he's gonna be like whoever he ends up with, it's gonna be a bad match, and it's just fucking nonsense. I hate it.
I know. It's not fair. That's the thing. It's really not fair for him to be talentless. Um, but at the same time, I want him to have something, whatever the ability is. But at the same time, you have to have some kind of not fairness. That's not English, but unfair things because that's
Yeah.
how life is. but I'm so sad that it's happening to him.
Yeah. But also at the other, like, I would want him to have a talent, yes, but at the other point, I just want the world to be that it's okay for him to not have a talent. You
Yeah,
know,
but when
I know that's a long way to go, but
yeah,
that's where the world needs to go to.
I agree. I agree.
We need to come to a point that it's okay to not have a talent.
Mm. Wait, where is my mouse? Yeah. That's a part of the encyclopedia that I like, where they give a summary of all the abilities. See, it's like it's very useful. I feel like by the end of the series, things are going to be better for the talentless. That's what I hope. Like, I really hope that it's gonna they're gonna work on that with the talentless person, but also with the um the matching list or whatever. Work on, as long as you're not like related to, you can be with anyone and things like that. I feel like a lot of things need to change, and it feels a bit like our world, where things like 50 years ago were an issue, but now it's part of our day-to-day life. And then we try to be more like inclusive and everything, and I feel like it's kind of representation of our life, of all world. But maybe that's just me like understanding that way, but I love that. If it's going that way, I will love it.
Me too. I'm just looking at these abilities again.
There are just so many, like
Yeah.
so many, so I don't remember
But,
them all.
like, and that's what this chapter is also about, because Rex, okay, he does not have like a talent and ability. We have so many abilities. But then you have the skills which
Mm.
everyone can learn. So Rex can still learn like skills.
Yes,
Levitation, for example.
I mean anything he liked.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the day. Like, I mean, in their world it is the end of the day. It's very difficult to be different, to be like
Yeah.
already like coming from an unmatchable situation, like
Yeah.
because the kids, yeah, it, yeah, I don't know. I feel like their world is very it's not inclusive, but it's getting there. I feel like with Sophie and everything happening, and the kids making like decisions, and the counseling maybe completely changing and everything. So I feel like it's gonna be
They are
better.
making changes. It's
Yeah.
getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah,
Um
but the fact that it is frustrating shows us that not everything happens overnight, that it needs time and energy and
Oh
strength.
yeah, like look at this world. Like 50 years ago, it was completely different with like black and white or being like gay and stuff.
Yeah.
And we've come a long way since that, but that doesn't mean it's still not out there. Racism is still a thing, an everyday thing. Um, Discrimination on based on sexuality or gender is still a thing.
Mm, yeah, absolutely.
And I feel
But
like it's kind of the same in that world, being like you're part of nobility or not, or you don't have a talent or not. It's just the same here with like skincare or sexuality or gender or your other beliefs,
yeah,
you know?
there are still things that don't make sense. Like for me, the fact that they are all rich, but then they're being judged on other things. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
all have everything they need, but that is not okay if you don't have like an ability. Like there are things, for me it doesn't make any sense, because if you accept one, if you make it that everyone has the same level of like wealth, let's say, or they have access to everything they need, and food and
Yeah.
house and whatever, why can't you make everyone feel okay in the society, whatever their situation, you know?
Because
But as you said,
I feel like no matter where you are and what type of world you are, where it's a fancy world or real world, it does not matter. There has to be some type of classing.
yeah.
And it's everywhere. Look, like in any fantasy book you read, this is the case. You always have different types of groups, and one
Mm,
group being better than the other.
mm,
Because if you genuinely live in a world where we are all equal, all the same, like the money is no issue and it's all perfect, you live in the perfect world and it does not exist. And it
no,
will never exist.
it's too utopic to have an utopia world.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But still, the girl can hope.
We can dream. We can dream.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I have in my notes is he does it again. Keith not learning from his mistakes and leaving. What do we think?
I mean, I get it. Like, the guy is among his friends and people that he trusts, but that trust him and everything. But he's scared to talk. He's scared to do things. And I feel like it's, even if we learned from the very beginning in that series that you better with your friends than by yourself. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. But
I
he's
thought
going
it
back.
was
Like, things are happening. But I mean, I
yeah.
get it.
I'm definitely wondering where he goes because it's not like clear. It's not like last time he went like on purpose to the never scene, right?
Mm,
But this time that's not the case. It's he's going, but we don't know where he's going.
mm.
So I'll be interested to see that. But also, I thought it was kind of a nice moment that Grady was like, "You're making a mistake, but I'm letting you go."
Yeah, and I respect that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool moment between them.
But that's also how you feel that they are all growing up, because you let them make their own mistakes, even though you
Mistakes.
know that with your experience of life, this is a mistake. You still let them make them because you made mistakes when you were young as well, and you learn from them. So give the others the opportunity to do the same, as long as it is not like life threatening or
Yeah,
whatever. I really hope the next book continues with his point of view. I have no idea
I have.
because
I know this. I will look it up for you. I'm gonna look.
he's
I
going to
don't
the
think
Forbidden Cities, I thought. Maybe?
I
I have
don't
no
think.
idea.
Yeah, because they were like talking about the color of his crystal, weren't they? And they were like, "Oh, his crystal was like blue or something," and that is for the Forbidden Cities. I
Oh,
noticed that as well.
oh. See, do we have a summary of all the different crystals in the encyclopedia? I forgot, like, the colors.
Hang on, I'm gonna.
Maybe you got it better than I. But she said in this, like at the beginning of this book, that she actually wanted to include Keith's point of view because it wasn't the case usually. So I don't know. That would be interesting to have a switch because we only get from Sophie's point of view in the series.
Yeah, it's gonna be Sophie's point of view throughout the book.
Yeah, that's what I think because she said that the reason why there was like a point 0.5 was because she wanted to include a little bit of Keith's point of view
Yeah.
to break the rhythm of the series. So I don't think that will happen. Or maybe like in the very last book, the very last chapter or something. Also, he said
I'm
he's
not
hiding.
scrolling to the last chapter. I'm
No,
not.
because you're gonna read like the title or something, and you're gonna be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, "What?"
Also, he said he's hiding the way Sophie was hidden, like among the humans. Yes, good. You're probably right.
Yeah. So, what do we think, like, as for the new book, our predictions as it maybe? So, I want to find out where Keith is.
Yeah.
So, even though we don't get his point of view, I'm hoping they will like find him, or we do like find out via where he is, because I do want to know that. I want to know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm hoping we get to learn more about his new abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know what Stella Loon is.
Yeah. I also
And I
want to know.
also, oh, you go ahead.
Oh, go.
I also hope that the Neverseen will find out about Sophie trashing that warehouse.
That was my point actually. I want to see if she has to pay the consequences or who has to
Yeah.
pay the consequences for that, and
Yes.
how far it's gonna go. Because I guess that it's gonna stop on a huge cliffhanger because there is, in theory, only one book after it.
Yeah.
So, but I also want to know, like, what's going on with that cover because it seems like they're getting out of somewhere, and I don't know if it's like
And it has
fire.
something to do with like lightning or something. I don't know.
I mean, the covers intrigues me because it's like you can see like Sophie touching the girl on her left, like she is. Wait,
Oh,
she
maybe
has the
she's
power.
enhancing her.
Yes, exactly. So the field of some kind. And then you see behind her that she's using some kind, like she has a fire, but that looks like rainbow colored. So,
She's
like,
holding something.
yeah. So, and Sophie is holding something, and I, as they look like they're coming from outside something, it might be like a portal thingy.
Yeah.
No, maybe. Oh, I
And I
don't know.
agree. It looks like Maruka is like doing the shield thing.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
It really looks like it.
And Marcella, she has like the fire thing. So maybe because Marcella is like she's training with like Finton, right? Because she has like the fire ability. So
Mhm.
maybe it's like the Everblaze fire that she's holding.
Maybe it's some kind. But was it that color?
Yeah, it was that color. The Everblaze is that color. It looks like it.
Then maybe. Then maybe. Huh.
Ooh, Arya, I think you might be right.
I think Sophie will continue to talk to him. Oh yeah, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
that's how
And
we.
that will be how we keep up with
Yeah,
that. What is going on with Keith? I think we will learn a lot more about the elements and types of light. Yes. No, that is. I think you're right about them keeping their some kind of contact. They will. Um. I mean, at least I hope so. So he's not completely alone and he has still a foot in reality and he still knows that he's not alone and that he has friends if anything happens, if he needs anything or whatever. I really hope so. So
me too. Oh, now I'm getting so excited to read Stella Lou right now. But I still have two books that I need to finish before the end of the month. So I want to focus on them first, and then I think maybe the 1st of November I will just immediately read Stella Loom because I'm
I,
I'm excited, man.
I mean the 1st of November is already on Tuesday, so
I know.
it's not that far off. So
But yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think we've talked about it all, didn't we?
I think yes. See, like we talked for almost an hour, but it was like shorter. If that makes sense, and like the
Yeah.
story was shorter, but we talked about the same amount of time about the book.
Yeah, but it was lots to discuss.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Um, and yeah, I hope that we will like that Rex is not gonna be alone.
Yeah.
That
That
too.
Rex will have the support that he will need.
I hate that I had to wait. I mean, same. Like I didn't get a fancy arc. Like
I have it already. I'm terrible.
so, yeah. But yeah, I feel like that's it. Um, the next book's coming out on the 16th. The next live show is gonna happen on Friday, December 16th.
Yes.
Um,
It will be on my channel. I will well the date is already on Twitter, but I will tweet it again. I know I'm very rude. I will tweet it again and yeah, we will all see you for the last time on the 16th of December. Oh my gosh.
we
Excited.
spent a year with you reading that book.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It's so weird. Um, but yeah, thank you everyone for
Thanks for coming.
yeah, and for being at book 8.5 with us
Yes.
for the commitment. Um, but yeah, we'll talk to you super soon and on Twitter and everything. But yeah, thank you for tonight. Take care and bye bye.
Bye.